in the book, for those of you who haven't read it, you're very tough on the politicians in the book. And I wanted to ask you about your views on a particular political issue. We're in the middle of a debate about race right now in Australia in relation to the voice to Parliament. You have spoken previously about your belief that a lot of the racial issues and the unresolved racial issues in Australia come from the foundation of the nation. And you talked about nationhood, not just through your writing in Australia, but also in the Sri Lankan nationhood. I want to ask you what that perspective of understanding the Sri Lankan nationhood means for the approach that you take on The Voice, and how you think Australians are conducting that conversation, and what we can learn from other countries who have had experiences of colonisation. And I want you to do all that in under 20 words.
I can't even remember the question. So I feel like you knew my grandma. So I, as a Sri Lankan, and also as a Sri Lankan Tamil, right? And particularly as a Sri Lankan, we have had a colonial history, right? That led to certain, or was highly contributory towards certain consequences in Sri Lanka. And so Sri Lankans know about dispossession, and we know about colonisation, we know about being forced to leave home, and we know about having to create home in other places. When you talk to many Aboriginal people, they will talk about themselves as though they are fundamentally diasporic, because they are no longer living on their country. They are living on someone else's country because they've been made to live on someone else's country. So they are dispossessed, and they are creating homes in new and different parts of Australia. As a Sri Lankan, I feel we understand that, and should understand that acutely. And when we came to Australia, it was in order to have the right to self-determination, to determine our future across all the issues that are important to us. And so when I look at the First Nations struggle, I think, well, you should have what I have. You should have what I already have in Australia, and you should have what I take for granted for my children and my children's children in Australia. If I was, I'm a left-hander, right? So if I woke up one morning and all left-handers were going to die 10 years younger than all the right-handers, and if all left-handers were going to suffer from diseases that are fixable and preventable, if my children were more likely, because I'm left-handed, to go to jail, the left-handers and the right-handers would surely think there was something wrong with that, and would ask themselves, has the way we've done it in the past worked? And if it hasn't worked, then is there a better and different way to do it? So that for me feels like what this conversation is about in terms of what's missing. I think it would be wonderful if we could show each other the generosity of assumption, and the respect and the kindness that we show our own people. In Sri Lanka, being from an ur, from a village, is so important. Being from a family is so important. Our community is so important. If we thought of everybody as our community, we'd be making different choices.